What's up guys and gals, Brian Tong here, and this right here, this is the Microsoft Surface Pro, and I finally got some time, and honestly, not much has drastically changed since the last time I used one, and that's okay because it's still the best tablet PC that can actually replace your laptop on the market today, but guess what? It can still get better. Now, one of the things that's always stood out to me has been the Surface Pro and really its more angular design that to me still doesn't feel too dated, and I know there's a camp of people who want the design to change. Who doesn't want a new form factor, right? Well, the two biggest things for me, thinner bezels and the move to USB-C. That's a completely fair and good enough reason to even wait for the next one. But this year really brings incremental upgrades with faster chips and the black color option. But from a design standpoint, with the built-in kickstand, I've always liked it. I love how it feels. It is a little sharp and edgy resting on your lap, if that makes sense, but it's always felt like its own thing, different from anything else out there, and that's a strength. Now the Surface Pro 6 comes in all different kinds of configurations, but if you're looking for this to be a primary computer or your workhorse for you, it can be that. Go for the i7. But if this is going to be more for basic use and media consumption as the priority for you, the i5 is going to be just fine. Now the Surface Pro 6 starts at $899 retail for just the tablet. Microsoft sent me this i5 with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, and the HN Intel chips that are more efficient, and the i5 version I had lasted easily over 8 hours with normal use. It wasn't a problem, and for me, I never felt like I needed a power outlet as much as I do on my laptop. You'll also have all the ports you expect with the Surface line with a single USB 3.0 and mini display port, the Surface connector, and micro SD card slot under the stand for more expansion, but the lack of any USB-C or Thunderbolt 3 ports at the end of 2018 make it feel like you'll be behind the curve in another 6 months. The Surface Book 2 and Surface Go, guess what? They have USB-C. Also, its Windows Hello face recognition has always worked really well for me from previous models. That still stands true. And this is by far the most polished Surface Pro, but it's just lacking modern ports as we move into the next generation of connectivity. You also know I'm a daily iPad Pro user, and in my review already I laid it out how for me that can't be a replacement for a computer. But then when you use a Surface Pro, right, and every time I've used one, this can absolutely replace your computer running every major application natively that you need. It's a little more cramped experience on this 12.3-inch screen, but if I really wanted to, I could edit a video on Adobe Premiere on a Surface Pro. I legitimately could. And by now you've seen all the reviews for the Surface Pro, right? From an experiential standpoint for me though, this is the best tablet that can replace your laptop. Starting at $129, if we talk about accessories, the type covers keys, they're all backlit. It's still sturdy, the hinge is great, and the feedback from the keys feel better than any other keyboard case out there. And obviously, look, it has a trackpad. Plus, there's a true hybrid OS here that lets you switch around and navigate with your fingers on the screen or with the trackpad at any time. You can go back and forth. It's still, again, easily the best keyboard attachment out there with no one coming close. Also, with this tablet, it is a tablet, but it doesn't have the best tablet experience out there, right? You won't find nearly as many tablet apps here. It's just not the priority for developers when it comes to iOS or Android apps and games getting ported over to Windows. But right? If you're an Xbox loyalist, some of the other major titles like Forza, Gears of War, and Cuphead, they have full Windows versions of the games that you can play directly right on the Surface. If I just want to use this as a media consumption device, I can. You can watch movies and Netflix. Heck, you could play some of the Xbox One's top titles on it. But reading comics, for me, that's big for me. It isn't as easy as it used to be thanks to the removal of the Comixology app. Now, it handles media consumption for the most part just fine, but the actual tablet experience isn't nearly as good with the underpinnings of Windows still creeping up on you when you're doing anything like jumping into your pictures folder, right? You'll see Windows there. Or going into tweak display settings, you're dealing with Windows right there, and it's just not its own tablet interface 100% of the time. So, right, you get pulled out of the tablet experience because of how it's built. And we're not forgetting the Surface Pen, with its 21 millisecond delay that inspired others to make their own. Nothing physically has changed with the pen, and this is the same creative tool that it's always been from the start, and it really works great as a companion to this tablet. So the big question, right? Is this for you? Well, it comes down to the ecosystem you're in. That always factors into it. But the Surface Pro 6 is a great product. But at the same time, right, most people will probably hold off right now and wait for the all-new redesign with the USB-C or Thunderbolt 3 when it will be ready for the next generation of connectivity and will hopefully be slimmer with thinner bezels and an HDR screen, like all that sexy stuff. Now, it might not bring the best tablet experience compared to others. That's kind of obvious, but it can still handle all your media consumption just fine. Your ecosystem, it might dictate your decision, but if you're looking for the best tablet that can actually replace your laptop right now, the Surface Pro 6 is it.